You know how they say, if you wanna solve problems, it's better to go to somebody that's done it. They got knowledge of fixing the problem than to go with somebody who's inexperienced. Case in point, you got a problem with your finances. You're not really gonna go to somebody that's a plumber, an electrician. You're gonna go to somebody who's a financial advisor. This is what they do. You got a problem with your garden by your house. You gonna go to people that specialize in gardening. You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from? A lot of people, they want answers to a lot of problems in life, but they not going to people that got experience in these problems. Like, say for instance, you got a problem where you want to lose weight. You got a weight loss problem. You want to lose some weight. You want to train in the gym, but you're not for sure what kind of exercises, you know what I'm saying, program you should be doing. Now, say you go to the gym, they got a trainer up there, but the trainer weigh about 400-500 pounds. The trainer that they trying to put on you, they look like they need a damn trainer. Would you be comfortable with a trainer that don't look like they know how to train? They look like they need a damn trainer to help their ass, let alone trying to help you get your shit together. They need to get their shit together, and they're a trainer. You know what I'm saying? The same thing, I look at it like, well, people, they seeking advice, like love life, like love advice, and they seeking, you know what I'm saying, they seeking relationship counseling and stuff like that. A lot of people, because social media, they'll go and listen to people who ain't in the position. They not married. They don't have a matrimony. They got 3 or 4 different divorces. They shit in turmoil. Now, is that the type of person you think could give you sound advice? It's like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey wrote a book about how to think like a man. This the same dude that's been divorced once, twice, 3 times. Do that sound like a person you really want to get some sound advice from? Somebody been asked 1, 2, 3, 4 times? That ain't the type of people you want to go to with information. You want to go to people that's living what they telling you in real time. They ain't out here just talking. They actually living what they talking about. They got a significant other. They in a relationship. They in a matrimony. They in a marriage. You feel me? These are the type of people you want to go to. If you got problems with a certain area, you want to go to somebody that got experience with fixing problems in that area. But you know how people do. People don't like, if it's uncomfortable, where they got to look inside themselves, they not really cool with that. They want to look at other people and blame other people like they need to fix certain things with them. Whole time it's a you thing. It's a you thing. It ain't outside of you. Like, you see people out here talking about relationships and how it's so much chaos. The man got chaos, the women got chaos. It's out of control. It's completely out of control. But it ultimately comes down to the person themselves. If you out here jumping from relationship to relationship, you ain't got time to self-heal. You don't have time to self-analyze what you've been picking been off. But that's an uncomfortable conversation. You got people that they don't like doing that. They picker is really the problem. Because they'll pick somebody, and then a month or 2, a year down the line, the person that you picked. Nobody made you pick them. Man or woman. Nobody made you pick them. You chose to be with them. And now the shit in turmoil. Chaos. And now you looking like you not doing the same thing you used to be doing. The person that you picked was showing you the same kind of shit in the beginning. You just ain't peeped the signs on life. You just ain't peeped the signs. they showed you, like one of the Moors, right? Shout out to my brother Keno. We was talking yesterday, and he was telling us a story about like how you know if somebody had asked him, like, how do you know like this person is right for a relationship, right? So he like, man, old girl, she say her and a guy, they went out, jet skiing. They riding on the jet skis, they doing their thing, right? And she flips over off her jet ski, crash into the water. So buddy that she with on that she thinks is her man, her guy, she say, dude, let me back up. Both of them fell off the jet ski. Both of them crashed out, fell off the jet ski, right? So they both in the water. She say that the guy grabs her while he under the water, try to pull her down for him to get up. So for him to he didn't even try to save her. He tried to save his own skin. And this is the person that she picked, that she's looking at. Hey, he ain't right. I thought he was good until a situation popped up that tested him. He trying to pull himself up out the water and not save her. But she chose to be with this dude. You see? It ain't like nowadays, without the fathers in the crib and without the mothers really teaching their daughters about etiquette, dignity, self-respect. You feel me? Loving theyself, showing love without that being in the home no more. It's pretty much people learning things on the fly, like through experience and mistakes. So the moral to the story is one of the first missions in life is you got to know who you are. You got to know self. Lace. That's my brother right there. Shout out to Palestine. So one of the main missions in your life is you got to know your mission. You got to know your mission. If you out here and you don't know your mission, your calling, everybody has a calling. Everybody has a mission. Some people are more in tune than others to capture that mission and start getting on the path of completing that mission. Everybody on this planet got a mission. You just got to listen to yourself, listen to a higher source, and connect to your mission. You got to have a purpose. How many people outside out here and it's like total chaos? Because people are not recognizing what is your mission? What are you here to do? What are you here to accomplish? What are your goals? Short term, long term, what are your goals? What are you out here to do? You just out here just to take up air, take up space? What you out here to do? What you out here to be? What you out here to do and be? So one of the main things that I get out of that is the fact that people are missionless out here. They just on the goose chase, a wild goose hunt. They don't really care about their mission. They don't really care about their purpose, and they just out here, just outside. But then if you bring it back to relationships, look it back to what's up, man? What's up, bro? No, you all good? That's what's up. They got the shorties out. Got the shorties out walking the dogs. Walk the doggy. So, when it comes back to relationships, that you have with yourself, that you have with others, the second biggest thing that you could say, decision that you're going to make in your life is your decision to be with your wife, your significant other. That's one of the biggest decisions of your life. Why? Because the person that you choose is a reflection of everything that you're about. Think about it. Whenever they see the person that you picked, to be your significant other, they should see you with them. As far as like your character, your attributes, how you speak to people, how you treat people, the person that you picked for your significant other, they should see that in, you know what I'm saying, the person that you chose to be with. They should see that. That should be like a real life reflection. So the first one is your mission, your purpose. The second one is the person that you be with, that you picked. They should be a reflection about what you doing. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? So we was just talking about that. Like if you see the signs, you see the signs, Morris. We see the signs. We got to stop taking advice from people who ain't lived it. They not even living it. It's like somebody trying to tell you how to be financially literate. Meanwhile, they reckless as fuck with their money. Reckless as hell. How somebody that's reckless with their bread gonna give you advice on how to keep your bread? People will talk your ear off. But if they ain't living it, if they not doing it, why are you listening to them for? They gonna send you off. They ain't gonna guide you to the light because they ain't living it. They speaking about something from a perspective of they ain't never lived it. They just talking. How somebody gonna teach you how to be a top professional athlete if they never been there? You never touched this land over here. You never touched this over here. So how you gonna tell me about being that? You see? Relationships, fam. For the ones out there that's on some, man, the man is fucked up and the women is fucked up. You gotta really look at yourself on some ISO type shit. You gotta look at if you keep picking a relationship or a situationship that's toe up, you might need to take a couple steps back. And you might need to look at, why do I keep coming across the same type people? I keep coming across people that's they ain't on what I'm on. You might need to take a couple steps back and reevaluate, reassess what you looking for. Are you looking for, what are you looking for? You gotta look at what you looking for. Like, what they own should be a reflection of what you own. And if it ain't, you playing games with yourself. It should be a balance there. You feel me? Speaking of balance, look at this. Look at this, dog. Look at this shit. I'm looking at this shit today, right? It's a synchronicity and a 7 seal. Look at this shit. Synchronicity and a 7 seal. We on page, if you got this book, we on page 81. Now you talking about balance, relationships, men and women, right? Look, if man is going to evolve, he has to account for quantum realities and all possibilities that are before him. This for men and women. Check it out. It say, but it is not enough to just consider all possibilities at once. That can jam one's mind with too much information and will cause an overload that cannot be processed. Insane asylums are filled with beings that cannot process and integrate information. Sometimes those creatures have the right information, but they cannot relate it properly to their current environment. This is where it started to get crazy at, right? It say others refuse to integrate with ordinary reality. All of this has to do with what I earlier described as the digestion process, quote unquote. As mankind makes its quantum leap or is forced to cope with the times ahead, he or she will be dealing with all possibilities and probabilities. At the very least, this means opening the door a little bit to chaos. Opening the door into a little bit of chaos. question. This is universal. This is for men and women. When you talking about order and you talking about chaos, you talking about relationships, right? You know how you could be with somebody and in the beginning, everything is exciting. It's like a firecracker, shit lit. Everything y'all do is just popping, right? You got all this energy in a relationship or situationship in the beginning. Cause in the beginning, you trying to show your best face in the beginning. But if you 100 with yourself and you 100 with the person that you picked, you're gonna be yourself all the time, right? This is where I see people, it's like it start to be a roller coaster. It start to be a roller coaster because from the dough, they not 100 with the person that they talking to. They not 100 with the person they talking to. They just trying to be a character. See, this is what knowledge itself come in at. You ain't trying to be somebody else. You ain't trying to be a character. You just being yourself. From the dough though. I'm talking about from hello. Que paso. I'm talking about like that. You ain't trying to be somebody else. You ain't putting the face on. You just being you, right? So you know how people, they love like, you love somebody got like a little chaos about them. Like a little chaos. They got some excitement. You don't want no boring ass person to be with and everything is like a routine. You know what I'm saying? Every time y'all finna get it in, you know the positions that they want to do. You know how to you feel me? It's like a routine. It's just boring. It ain't no excitement there. Ain't no pizzazz up in there. Ain't nothing spicy. So this right here popped out to me because of this right here. Watch this. So it say, people who embrace flying saucer or occult phenomena with too much relish often become very confused and undermine their own interface with ordinary reality. Check it out. It say, this is basically taking on too much chaos. There has to be a healthy ratio between chaos and order. Why is that? Why should there be a healthy ratio between chaos and order? Let's find out. It say, if there is too much order in one's life, one needs some chaos to create interest. If not, one will be very bored. If there is too much chaos, one needs to increase the amount of order. Otherwise, one will be very confused and possibly be at the mercy of very chaotic forces. Strong. That's strong. Because if you're looking at it from a perspective of as above and so below, you don't want to just have everything, like everything is scripted. Everything that you say, every place you go, everything you do is a script. So you don't have room for flexibility. You don't have room to be spontaneous. You don't have no spontaneity about you. Everything is A, B, C, D. It ain't like everything is like, you know how it's going down. You're predictable. You see? Nobody wants to have a relationship with somebody that's always predictable. You want to have some sense of excitement there. It's a little bit of chaos in there, because chaos gonna keep you interested. Some excitement gonna keep the relationship fresh. It's gonna keep it fresh. It's gonna keep it popping. It ain't gonna be like, everything they gonna say, they gonna do, they gonna go, they gonna want to go, everything they gonna want to eat. You feel me? There's no balance there. You never want to be predictable for their laws of power. You never want to be predictable. But again, if you got a healthy balance of order and chaos, now you at the point where you like, man, this is exciting. What's up with you? Yes, sir. You want to have some healthy ratio up in y'all relationship. You feel me? You don't want to have everything routinely is boring. You're going to get tired of that. And then you're going to look at the situationship or the relationship of the person that you picked. Now, remember, you picked the person that you got a relationship with or had. You picked them. So look at the signs. You don't want somebody that's always too chaotic, though. They too wild. They don't even have no kind of sense of law and order. They just out there. Everything that they own is just chaos. That's too wild. That ain't no healthy mix. I'm saying it's just too chaotic. Shout out to Texas. Too chaotic. So look, then you go back to the lit. You go back to the lit, and then you stay right here. What does it say? It says, harnessing an optimum ratio between chaos and order is the key to surfing occult phenomena, surviving the apocalypse, or just plain living. This is a stable reference point by which one can willingly increase or decrease the amount of order or chaos in one's life. It is an excellent tool. Bing bong. It's an excellent tool. It's an excellent tool, G. Balancing chaos and order. Ratio, a healthy ratio of both. And what we talking about the yin and the yang. This whole time we've been talking about the yin and the yang. The yin and the yang. Yes, sir. Shout out to Peru. Yes, sir. You know, these is all nations right here. All these are Moorish nations. You see me with the scarves? They all repping Moorish nations. This Peru right here. You know what I'm saying? Repping all of the Moorish countries. All of it's Moorish. But y'all know we Moorish American, right? We Moorish American. So we can rep all of the flags. Because they are flags. North America, Central, South America, all of the islands. Those are Moorish American lands. See? You see, when you step out, when you take a step out of the crayon box, when you take a step out of the color-coded matrix, then you can start experiencing the real world. You're not bound by a color matrix. See, the color matrix is a fabricated, invisible, like, line that you attach to. You don't know that you attached to it, though. See, this is how interesting it is. Because the color-coded matrix invisible anchor has anchored us mentally to a destination, a color code system that we ain't got no business even being in. We ain't even got no business even being in the color-coded matrix box. Like when they say, when you go somewhere and they say, fill out this box and you check off whatever you check off, that's categorization. That's the invisible world of color code. The color code is really invisible. Mentally, our people as Moorish Americans, we've been tricked, we've been duped to think that we have to play the color code game. You don't have to play that game. You ain't got to play that game, G. That's a game that you ain't even got to participate in. Because you're going to win anyway. You're going to lose playing that game. But when you step out of that game, you're going to win. How you going to win? Because you exercising law and order. See how we talking about law and order? We talking about the synchronicity and the seventh seal. See? This is what we talking about. We talking about the circle 7. We talking about the yin and the yang. We talking about coming out of chaos, stepping into order. Because look, if one is going to face, if one is going to face the prospect of parallel realities and universes, one had best be prepared. You already live juxtaposed against a sea of quantum realities. The primary difference between now and the past is that these abilities were hidden from view and did not have to be dealt with. Times have changed. It is therefore advisable to pick your realities wisely. You have plenty of choice in that matter. Some realities will serve you and others will be more difficult. The amount of fun you might have with the various realities you choose should also be taken into consideration. So again, proving to the point, you are Neo. You are Trinity. You are the one who picks the situationship, the relationship, the choices in your life, your destiny. You the one that's in control. Or are you not in control? See, you choose the reality that you play with. You choose the person, because how? Because our minds are like super galactic computers. You can choose the reality that you deal with every day by what you think in your head. Because contrary to popular belief, you are our self-law and master. You the G-O-D. You the generator, operator, and destroyer of your reality. Whatever you think about, whatever you speak about, you're creating that. So if your relationships have been failing, take a couple steps back. Look at yourself and say, damn, why do I keep attracting bullshit? Why do I keep attracting situationships that don't last? Why do I keep attracting these chameleons? They talk good in the beginning. They got some shit going on that I'm fucking with in the beginning. But then after about a month or two, maybe a few months, it start to deteriorate. You see? But this is what's interesting. This was fascinating. You're choosing that. Yo. Do you understand? You have so much power. You don't even realize how much power you really got, how much force you really got. You're choosing the realities that you live in right now. It's real. It's really that real. You choosing to be in a relationship that's chaotic. You choosing to be in a relationship that's it's like a robot. It's too much routine. You choosing that. The question is, why are you choosing that though? Why are you choosing that? Or are you aware that you choosing that? You choosing all the relationships, all of the situations in your life. Are you aware? Are you aware that's what you've been choosing? Huh? Because that's what's happening. Because look, right here. What did it say right here? What did it say? It say, choosing realities. You're choosing your reality, whether you realize it or not. You choose the reality that you want to play in. They show us this shit all the time. They show us this when you're looking at movies like Spider-Man in the multiverse. Remember Miles Morales had to make a decision? Remember? I watched this with my babies. Miles Morales, he had to make a decision. Remember? The multiverse. Spider-Man in the multiverse. Miles Morales had to make a decision on what he was going to do. He chose a reality. He chose it. You got that same ability though. You see, they put it right in front of our faces so we can't say, like we didn't know. No, you know, you got a gut instinct. You got a gut. You know how you feel that gut, that in your gut, you feel it? Cause it's really that. But you think like, nah, it can't be that. It really is that. Like it really is. The universe always give you signs and symbols to look at. That's why we got 7 senses. Right. Y'all know where they got Stan Lee got the Spider-Man tingling senses from? Y'all know that, right? That's your intuition. Everybody has 7 different abilities that are universal. Everybody got them. You don't just have 5 senses. You really got 7. The two senses that they didn't tell us, they didn't want to tell us this because it'll activate our superpowers. It'll activate that super conduit that's located in our DNA. That super conduit, I'm talking about in the genomes, in the genotype that we are as Moors. What I'm talking about is your intuition. That's a higher sense. You also have another higher sense that's called telekinesis. You have this ability, like telepathy. So you got intuition and you got telekinesis or telepathy. How you can make it real is this right here. You ever been, because everybody has experienced this. You ever been thinking about something? You ever thinking about calling like a cousin, a family member, a friend or something like that? I'm saying your homegirl, your homeboy. You ever thought about you ain't talked to them in a while, right? You ain't talking to them in a while. Next thing you know, you've been thinking about it. What happened? Your phone rang. You get a text message. Or they just walk in there. Walk in. You might be at the grocery store. You might be at the barber shop. You might be somewhere outside. You might be at the lakefront. Next thing you know, you might be at the red light. Next thing you know, they pull up on the side of you. You like, damn. What you say? I was just thinking about you. Ding, 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 ding. It's just like that, Morris. It's just like that. You choosing your own reality. You choose your reality all the time. See? Islam. They got us out here with all the strength and the power and the force that we got, right? The CIA, if you go on their website, they have patents. They have actual patents on what I'm talking about right now. Real life. They have actual patents where they have energy blueprints. We got so many abilities. They try to keep them suppressed. And they give us realities that they like give us like what you call the Hegelian dialect. The Hegelian dialect, that's when they give out like a two-party system where they give you two options. You could go left or you could go right. You could go Democrat, you can go Republic. You could go us versus them. You could go liberal against conservative. You see where I'm going? But that's the Hegelian dialect though. We not a part of that. We free. We could do whatever. We could choose and we could go into any reality that we want to. That's what we are though. Because we are G-O-D. Generator, operator, and destroyers. All of us got these abilities. Remember what I said. You don't have just 5 senses. You really got 7. You got intuition, and then you got telepathy or telekinesis. All of us have these abilities. Don't think like, I ain't got that. It's in the movies. Nah. See, what they do is they give us scenarios. They bring out what's known as crisis actors. I'm for sure y'all heard of crisis actors before. Crisis actors, if you look on Craigslist, you look on Facebook Marketplace, they got something called crisis actors. The crisis actor's job is to make it look like a crisis happened. They get hired and they get fired. It's a crisis actor. Like when they say, oh, an explosion happened, or it was an act of tyranny or something like that. Those are crisis actors. Ain't y'all seen over there with the newest footage that they dropping on TV, television? They showing you that you got people over there picking up gravel, rocks that's supposed to weigh, they supposed to be some weight. We talking about rocks, granite that didn't got blown off a building. They got women over there on the TV. I don't know if they knew they was on TV or not. They picking up rocks that's supposed to weigh hundreds of pounds, and they picking them up with one hand. You see? Television. See, they're giving you a reality. They're giving you and I a reality that's false. that if you choose to entertain that reality, you're going to go right up in there where they want you at. Because now you're distracted. Your mind ain't on the real plan. Your mind ain't on the mission. And speaking of mission, I hear dudes out here that's complaining about women not being on their program. But this is what you got to understand, boy. Women are our helpmates. That's what a woman, I'm talking about a woman. I ain't talking about a hoe. I ain't talking about a thotty. I'm talking about a woman. A woman's natural position is to be a helpmate to the man. That's nature. That's natural law. But if you don't have a mission, if you as a man don't have a purpose that you locked into, like this is what you do, this is who you are. If you ain't got a purpose, break the word submission down. If you as a man don't have a mission, then how can the woman submission, how could she submit to you when you ain't even got a mission? Submission, mission, you feel me? So what's your mission? Noble Drew Ali had a mission. He got something called the National Mission Statement. You see? And you got people that be out here talking crazy, insane type, illiterate shit. They never read the National Mission Statement written by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but they got all the mouth in the world to tell you about Noble Drew Ali or to tell you about the mission of Moorish Americans. How you gonna, again, 360, back into the beginning of this beam out, how I kicked it off. You listen to people that got experience in what you talking about. You're not gonna go to the gym because you want to lose weight and hire a trainer, and the trainer look like they ass need a trainer because they overweight. They about 300-400 pounds, 5'5". Are you really gonna pay them to train you? Hell no. You ain't finna pay them. They look like they ass need a trainer. They big as hell. I'm talking about a Krispy Kreme donut or two away from tipping the scale type shit. And you talk about you gonna train me. That's how I be when I see people out here talking. When they out here talking about the National Mission Statement for the Moors and they ain't never read it. You never read the National Mission Statement. So how you got an opinion that you think valid and you never read the National Mission Statement? Like, what are you talking about? Make it make sense. Why would I ask a plumber how to make a cheesecake? Why wouldn't I just go to somebody that do that? Like, this, I'm gonna go to a baker. Like, this what they do. They bake shit. They cook shit. I'm not finna go to a goddamn plumber. I'm trying to get a cheesecake with strawberries on top and whipped cream. I'm not trying to get, you feel me? I'm gonna go to somebody that do that. So, I said all that to say, man, go to people that really live what they talking. You listening to people, you do what you want to do. I'm just throwing out something that I'm thinking about. Like, I'm really talking to myself right now. But I know the ones that's in tune, you gonna catch up. You gonna catch what I'm putting down, or what I'm throwing. Much love to you. So really, go to the ones that's living what they talking. Don't go to the ones that's telling you about financial literacy and financial advice, and they broke. Like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, they popped. Why would you go listen to them for? Yeah, they could throw some opinions at you and all that, but at the end of them talking, would you really take what they saying like serious? They ain't living what they talking about. So don't forget, as a man, we the head. As Moorish man, we the head. This is how Allah set it up. Allah set it up that Moorish men are the head of the family. So if you don't have a mission, if you as a man you're not secure with your mission or your purpose, because you're supposed to be a general, why would you expect a woman to help you on your mission when you ain't got one to share with her? And then you looking at her like, damn, baby, you ain't even on my program. You ain't even got a program, boy. You understand? You got to have a program for that woman to submit to. That's the submission. That part. But then, on the flip side though, Allah made this order like that. Allah, man and woman and children. You can't expect a woman to submit to, you ain't even got a program. You ain't got a purpose, you ain't got a program, you ain't got a mission, but you expect her to submit. Nah. But then though, don't forget, you picked them. So you women out there that's complaining about the guy, oh, he a deadbeat, he ain't really on shit. Baby girl, you picked him. So that accountability go both ways. See, people dodge that accountability like motherfucking crack. They dodge that accountability like shit. I ain't letting that shit touch me. You know what I'm saying? You dodging that shit like a bill collector. Like shit, you making moves and you doing all this motherfucking peekaboo shit. Whole time it's just accountability though. It's accountability. People be dodging accountability like a bill collector. Accountability is a necessary trait of quality and character. Man and women supposed to be accountable. That's a quality trait. That ain't just for the man, that's for the women too. There you go again. Accountability is recognizing the yin and the yang, as above and so below. If everything is good one way, it's going to be toe off on the other way if neither one of them sides are accountable. Balance. Islam. Balance. Accountability. Stop dodging accountability like a bill collector. You know what I'm saying? You doing all this, you getting all away from accountability, and you need to be on some, hey, you want to go to accountability like, nah, I'm responsible. So I'm going to step up. I'm going to step into this shit. I'm going to step into accountability. You know what I'm saying? Because you G-O-D. Generator, operator, and destroyer. So ye are all gods, so says the scripture. And Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus, what did he say in the circle 7? He said, what I have done, all men can do. That's the Bible. And that's the Quran. So however you want to slice it. You want to slice it out the Quran, you want to slice it out the Bible. However you want to slice it. It still come down to knowledge of self, being accountable for your words, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You know how they say defense wins championships? You know how they say that, right? Defense wins championships. For sure. Defense do win championships. You know that. Defense win championships. But you know what's wild though? Look, this was wild. You know what's wild though? When they talk about defense winning championships, right? If you ain't got no quality defense, if you ain't responsible enough to play defense, and you always, like say, take basketball, if you always cherry picking when it's time for you to play defense, you always cherry picking, you always up there somewhere. Why would I respect you as an all-around player if you don't play both sides of the defense and the offense? You can't be looked at as how you in the conversation of you one of them, And you don't play no defense. You just play offense. You see? See, defense requires accountability, responsibility. Not just scoring the ball. You got to play defense too. Know what I'm saying? You got to have both. You got to have offense and you got to have defense. Do you know how to play defense though? That part. Do you know how to be consistent playing defense so y'all win the championship? What's the championship? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's the championship, more. That's the championship. Having the freedom of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for your children's children's children. That's the pursuit of happiness. That's the championship. Not to be worrying about the realities that television keep giving us, scaring us. That ain't living. That ain't living with a purpose. That's living like they want you to be under mind control and fear and doubt, disbelief. That ain't no way to live, more. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? Defense and offense. You know? I tell you what, though. It's up to you, though. Ultimately, though, after all I've been talking, it's up to you to look yourself in the mirror. The man in the mirror. The man in the mirror. Michael Jackson sang about it. The man in the mirror. One of the coldest songs ever created. The man in the mirror. The woman in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at yourself. You can't keep blaming somebody else for the realities that you choosing. We choose the realities that we entertain. We choose the it's wild. It sounds cliche, but it's real life though. We actually think and speak and entertain the realities that we create. How wild is that? But it's real though. You choose the person that you have a relationship with, a situationship with. You choose that person. Because contrary to popular belief, even the people that's healers, like you might say that you like an empath and you a healer. You know what I'm saying? Healers need healing too. It take a lot for somebody that's a empath or a healer to get that energy off. Take a lot for that. You know what I'm saying? So if you do come across somebody that's a healer or empath that's really like this they purpose, they need healing too though. Because remember, order and chaos, it's a line between that. Order and chaos. It's a line between that. You know, people that give out order, people that bring order to chaos, they need healing too. It ain't always the ones that sit down with their legs folded and their hands, you know what I'm saying, on some praying type. Them ain't always the ones that need the healing. A lot of the ones be out here outside. And they be like going 24/7. And they the ones that need healing too. You know what I'm saying? They the ones that need love too. It ain't just the ones that's always looking like they broke off. They toe off. Nah, it be ones that really be going through the shit, the fire. But you couldn't tell looking at them on the outside. You looking at them like, man, they built for this shit. Yeah, they is built for it. But that don't mean they don't need healing too. They need hugs, affection. You feel me? They need that too. But you know what it be though? We was talking about this in the shop. A lot of people are super prideful. And they don't want to do that. Because it'll kind of like mess with their ego. That it'll mess with their pride. You know what I'm saying? But healers need healing too. You say, how do I declare my Moorish status if I'm in California? Your status as a Moor is something that you mentally have to come into fruition. It's not about filling out no paperwork. Status is your rank in society. That's what status is. So your mental status is how you carry yourself. Your character, your quality. That's what your nationality is about. When I see you, I should see a upright, fearless quality and character that I can relate to. That's lawful. That's what it is. That's how you carry yourself. ¿Qué pasó, man? That should be how you carry yourself. How you carry yourself. That's what it is, though. You don't have to buy your status. You can't buy your status, really. You know how somebody that got all this fiat, right? They got all this fiat and they don't have no respect. Because when the fiat gone, the green pieces of paper, when they gone, their respect is gone. That's how you know it's really gonna start crumbling outside. When you start seeing people that were so-called millionaires, billionaires, them green pieces of paper don't mean nothing. If anything is showing you this right now, it's every time that you got a so-called black millionaire, a black celebrity, they got all this fiat. They could buy whatever they want to buy. When they got trouble in court, all that fiat don't mean nothing. It don't mean a damn thing. You know what means something? How you carry yourself. How you treat people. Are you on a mission, a purpose, doing what you love to do that's making you happy? Because you can have the whole bank. You can have it all. But if you ain't happy with yourself, why you be thinking like it be so many people that they got all this bread, they might struck the lotto or something, and next thing you know, they miserable. They are miserable because they don't have love for self. Remember, I, self, law, and master. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Because ultimately, though, you and I are responsible for our own happiness. Can't nobody bring you happiness. They might temporarily make you feel happy. You notice how I said feel happy? But feelings can go left and right. They could go up and down. They could sway left and they could go any direction. But when you know what brings you happiness, you can manifest that anywhere, anytime. You could do it at will because you know what make you happy. And putting all your faith and trust into somebody else making you happy, bad move. It's a bad move. Because the person that you putting all that love and faith in and all that into, what if they let you down? They let you down, what you gonna cave in? Like a deck of cards? Nah, you gotta have happiness right here. Love for self. On principles. Islam. So, I'm finna wrap up this beam out though. But hopefully though, y'all got something from this book right here. Synchronicity and the Seventh Seal. Choosing the realities. You choose the realities that you entertain. You choose these realities. Alright? You choose. And remember, too much of one thing is not balance. You gotta have a healthy ratio. You gotta have a healthy ratio. You gotta have a healthy ratio between chaos and order. Because if it's too much order, it's gonna be robotic. It's gonna be like you dealing with a damn bot, a robot. That ain't no fun. Everything is scripted. It's always like nah. It's always a routine. It ain't nothing spontaneous with your relationship. It's gonna get boring after a while. After a little while, you're gonna be like, man, I'm done. I'm through. This ain't it. But if you in a relationship or you a situationship and you keep it spontaneous, you got order there, But you still spontaneous though. You ain't like locked down to this what we finna do. Nah, you still got spontaneity. You still keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? You keep it live. You keep that shit lit. The vibe always up. The vibe never get down to the point where you like, man, this shit weak as hell. I'm gone. You don't get to that point. Because you got a healthy ratio of order and chaos. So get with somebody, pick somebody, you feel me? Evaluate somebody where they own what you own. They interested in what you interested in. You feel me? Pick somebody or pick people to be around or to be with that you actually can see why they are how they are, because you are how you are. It's an attraction. It's an attraction. They own what you own. So it's like you having these conversations and it's like effortless. It's effortless. Like you ever had like a twin flame and y'all have conversations and the conversations just flow. It ain't even like you really thinking about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's like a constant flow stream of just flow. It's just a flow. Get with somebody that's into you like you into them. Don't get with somebody that you putting all your faith and your energy in and you doing all that and they not reciprocating what you giving back. You gonna blame them or you gonna blame you? Shout out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You gonna blame them or you gonna blame you? Because ultimately, you pick the person that you dealing with. So enough of that, man is the problem, women is the problem. That shit cap. That shit really dead. Because you're going to keep going back and forth to the end of time until you get to the point of accountability and discipline. Accountability and discipline, fam. Yeah. Accountability and discipline. If you ain't got no discipline, you done for. I don't care what you involved with. Whether you work out in the gym, you work out at home, you work out wherever. You ain't got no discipline. Like, discipline is everything. A man who has no discipline is a fool. A woman who has no discipline is a fool. You gotta have discipline. Discipline keep law and order. It keeps structure. A lot of people dodge law, order, and structure. They dodge that shit like bill collectors. Like, nah, I ain't here. Like, what you mean? I see you right there. What you mean? I see you, fam. Like, what you talking about, gang? I see you. Discipline, accountability, discernment. Discernment. Can you discern? Should you be doing this? Or this shit cap? Should you be entertaining this? Or that shit cap? Should you be talking like that? Or that shit cap? Shout out to the ATL. Georgia, Islam. Shout out to the rap. Yes, sir. Wild Hunteds. East Side, Inglewood, Low End. You know what I'm saying? North Side, out west. All that. All y'all down south, East Coast, West Coast, up north, overseas, all y'all out there. It's Islam. One nation. Yeah, one nation. That's what it's about. One nation. See? One nation. This Peru right here. One nation though. It's one nation. The unity gonna come when the mentality start to get like one nation, indivisible. You know what I'm saying? One nation under God, indivisible. For liberty and justice for all. Once that mentality start getting, like, once that get on, it's up. Each one teach one though. I self-law and master. I appreciate all y'all out there. All y'all. Real shit. Study, study, study. Peace.